today's show, wood chips fly as a Minnesota artist works old logs to create new memories.
I take things that I see.
Check out these one-of-a-kind canoes. The hand-built dream that started long ago with one old lonely boat. And hunters shoot in honor of our U.S. troops.
Minnesota Bound, presented by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems.
Hey everybody, Laura and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
Up first, a story about some outdoor art created with the most seemingly stubborn tools.
Yeah, as Travis Frank reports, this story qualifies as Paul Bunyan-like stuff.
Art can be found in the strangest places. Joe Bush finds his in a pile of old weathered logs.
I'm a snob. I want the good one.
At 110 decibels, his art project begins.
First step, you gotta have the log.
The second step takes place in his backyard chainsaw pit.
We can pick whichever one. I'll let you pick it.
Here, old logs get new life.
Recycling it, yep. Repurposing it. Essentially, I'm taking wood and turning it into wildlife. I take things that I see. Lots of birds, lots of eagles, lots of hawks, lots of owls, moose, bear, otters, wolves, all kinds of stuff.
And morel mushrooms.
It's got a flat long side here and a short side up here. You don't want it to be perfect. Mushrooms are fun to carve. Everybody knows what a mushroom is, so it's familiar to them. I like doing things that other people don't do, you know, because it's a challenge, I guess.
A challenge he masters with chainsaws, slicing through hardwood like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, it's like a pencil. You know, you touch that wood and it takes it away.
One chip at a time, his latest creation takes shape.
And you put the earmuffs on, you kind of disconnect from everything else that's going on. You get into a zone and you just own it.
Ironically, Joe's first carving came to life after landing a trophy fish.
First carving was a muskie, because I didn't want to pay for a replica.
Holy cow. That's what started it all right there. That wooden replica still hangs in his basement today, right next to his growing collection of carvings too valuable to sell.
So I don't sell a ton because it's a hobby. I don't want the pressure of it to ruin the enjoyment. Same with going fast. I don't like going fast. I like taking my time and looking at it and making sure it's all set right.
Joe's wife appreciates his skills and his attention to detail.
He does a good job though, so we let him do it. It keeps him entertained and busy. If it's a big project, it can take a couple weeks for him to do all the detailing.
Wow, look at that. Looks like a mushroom.
Next step, we burn it. We gotta get all the trays off and get it ready for paint. This is what I grind it with. It's just an angle grinder.
Fortunately, his neighbors don't mind the deafening sounds either.
The noise doesn't bother me.
I just can't believe he does it with a chainsaw, you know.
That is so awesome. That one, I didn't even realize it. Clearly, he's not your average Joe.
The level of how good you are is really, with carving, it's just in the eye of the beholder. You know, you don't have to be great if you enjoy doing it and you gave it a go. Hell, you got a new hobby.
I just think it's crazy how he was able to just pick up a saw one day and just start carving, and what he's turned it into.
A backyard hobby that turns wood into wildlife.
And if you're lucky, you come out with a carving that's cool, you know?
Coming up next, the tale behind these handmade canoes, the legacy of the Zapf family.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Connecticut Water Treatment Systems, North Dakota Tourism, Star Bank, and by All Seasons Garage Door.
You know, many canoes these days are the result of high-tech materials and computer engineering. Even so, some folks still like older means. It is the DNA of Zapf Legacy Canoes. The sensation of paddle cutting through water. Absolute exhilaration to those who know.
I've been lucky enough to have a paddle partner now for 38 years.
Just being together with Steve, it's a good connection that other, spouses don't have.
Amy and Steve Zapf vowed long ago to make this silent sport a lifestyle and their life choice.
And that's a BWCA cruiser. One next to it's a solo canoe.
The one behind you is a redwood canoe that Steve and I had made back in
1985.
Yep, these two built a boat after they met.
We met at a Boy Scout camp. That's when I started canoeing.
Kind of an initiation interview process.
Turns out Steve and Amy had a knack for woodwork.
I never worked with wood before I met Steve.
The roots of all of it born from Steve's father.
This is a Popular Science magazine article. My dad found this article, and this is how he learned how to build canoes.
Mike Zapf built his first boat way back when.
Yeah, Dad started in '67, and I was quite young, like 4 or 5. And I grew up in that process of everybody in the family building one.
That original canoe still sits idly out back of the house.
The family thing was really our story.
All Zapf kids built a boat with Dad.
Come on in.
Steve never stopped. He and Amy now handcraft Zapf custom canoes full time.
From start to finish, it can take anywhere from 2 to 2.5 months. Every one is different.
Outside of one small detail.
This is a very unique saw.
Steve cuts tiny pieces, the intricate signature of all Zapf canoes. Curious patterns that run down the sides of every boat.
That'll make the zigzag.
The pieces of design measured by the bucket load.
For a 10-foot canoe, it takes 240.
This takes 10 working fingers.
Yeah, I have all 10.
I never thought in a million years that I would enjoy working with wooden canoes. Just to get the smoothness there, I enjoy it immensely.
Building boats eventually led these two to brainstorm.
It's pretty easy because we understand each other.
An idea that would shrink their canoes but expand the business. Hang tight.
This is one of our storage facilities.
The Zapfs will show you next.
Hey there, Bill Shirk, the man about the woods. I have a new favorite toy when I'm out in the woods. This little guy, it's a titanium bush cooker stove. These things literally are getting hot these days. You no longer need to take white gas or sterno into the woods. You just take a few dry twigs off the nearest dead tree and you're cooking. The amazing part is these things will boil a pot of water darn near as fast as your gas stove, sometimes even faster when you're using the right kind of dry wood. I didn't believe it either until I tried it. You also have a windscreen along, and it allows you to cook in any sort of weather condition. This is a 4-dog titanium bush cooker, and literally it's in my pack now on every trip because you need nothing but dry wood in the woods. Test out a titanium bush cooker. It's a fun way to cook. Believe me, these things work.
Closed captioning provided by Treasure Island Resort and Casino.
Steve and Amy Zapf created their canoe company by hand.
All the strips get attached to this at the ends of the canoes.
The work of two people with passion for working wood.
It's centered.
The art of custom-built canoes, a path created long ago by Steve's dad.
He is really paying homage with how much love that he has for his dad, even though he's not here anymore. That's why he uses certain tools from Mike still to this day.
Yes, and I can pick him up every day.
Tools aside, Steve and Amy use simple means to build.
We don't steam them. I just stick them in our bathtub in hot water. What do we want to do here?
Hand-picked strips become each boat's skin.
This is cedar.
There we go. Yeah, we've got 2 strips here that will work. These have a more color to them.
Slowly, every addition reveals what the canoe might eventually look like.
That's good. I like that.
And we just follow the other strip now.
They complete the shell indoors and then head out for one of canoe building's most dust-inducing jobs. A game of touch and go so slowly.
Good.
A task that can inevitably lead to more work.
It cracked off.
The curse of canoe building on camera.
Yep, we'll have to re-glue that. That's the first time that's ever happened.
If I ever get a perfect canoe, I'll be done. There's always that challenge of I can make that a little bit better.
Sort of the reason the Zapfs tried to shrink their canoes in order to build their business.
A lot of people that were buying our full-scale canoes weren't putting them in the water. They were putting them up in their lake homes or cabins. So we scaled things down.
This is one of our storage facilities.
Steve and Amy now build slightly smaller models for display.
They're just three-dimensional art, bringing the nature in.
6 to 8 to 10 feet long.
The hull is cedar still with your walnut, and then in the center part of it, we've got aspen.
That's crotch wood from an ash tree in our yard that we cut down.
Small models with the same Zapf DNA.
Yeah, we can lean up against this tree here.
It's a fun,
While we did it.
yeah, while we did it, yeah, that's a good thing.
But boat building's best part
Okay,
comes full circle
upside down. There we go.
as the Zapfs paddle away
They're all good.
in their own form of outdoor art a simple form of wood, so at home on water.
Very peaceful. I love morning paddles. I'm a creative person, I think. And then I love canoeing. I grew up canoeing. So to combine those two things is special. That's what really keeps me building canoe after canoe.
If you'd like to see some behind-the-scenes photos of our stories, check out our Instagram page at mnbound.tv.
Straight ahead, clay targets shatter as shooters hit the field. They shoot for our troops.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by the Minnesota DNR, Pearson Salted Nut Roll, Coors Light, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Up next, Minnesotans load up shotguns to shoot for the troops.
Actions almost always speak louder than words. At a Central Minnesota gun club, a helping hand comes from a bunch of folks. Today, they shoot for the troops.
We're here to have fun. It's for a good cause. To raise some money for some military families.
Shoot for the Troops is an organization that we formed to help out current military members and their families that run into some hardships, financial hardships because of being away from home, being deployed. We also are here to help veterans.
The champions. No, we don't know.
The hopeful.
The survivors. Yeah. How's that?
Teams show up in Little Falls to shoot sporting clays.
No, we're not luck. It's not luck. It's all skill.
Adults and kids.
I'm just going to cheer them on. That's it.
Good job. We got her.
Money that will help soldiers and veterans and their families fix broken water heaters or maybe a family car that suddenly breaks down.
Good one.
Since 2004, we've done close to 1,700 grants and a total of about $3.8 million worth of grants.
Well, I think they sacrifice more than anybody else in society. They leave their families, they leave their homes, and they're there to protect and serve. The shooters here are a variety of people. We have individuals, we have a lot of companies that send out their employees. So we have a variety of people from all over the state of Minnesota.
I love it. It's awesome to see this. So it still shows that, you know, after how many years, people still care about what we're doing, even though it's maybe not necessarily as much in the television, that they're still here supporting us and letting us have a good time and shoot, really.
This dad understands more than most. He serves in the National Guard.
I think for me, the family support's the biggest. Maybe I'm still on point for that fast one over there.
You got half of them better than anybody else did.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad they could come out today too. All they get to see is typically me leaving Friday or Saturday morning in the uniform, so they can see a different side of the military.
Boring.
Oh yeah, is it? That's his response for everything. Boring. Boring. How's school today? Boring.
Sergeant Nick Berglund shoots here for the first time.
Super interesting. I didn't know about it till this year. I worked out at camp for a few years and just found out about it. So it's a good event out here. It's fun. And they see what we get to do, and we get to see what they do, and see who wants to contribute to, make our lives better, and we appreciate it. So.
Shooters never hit all targets. Even so, this event is right on the mark.
It is. I mean, this is our way of thanking the veterans, thanking the active military folks for their sacrifice they make for all of us.
I think you and I need to do some shooting soon.
I'm always ready for some sporting clays.
Yeah, I just don't know if I can hang with you.
We'll see.
Well, that about does it for us. We will see you back here next week.
In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Oh.
You got me.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433.